That night, I was apparently a trigger object because it was a field hospital, and the footsteps came off the landing and into the room, and something sat down next to me.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Monsters Lounge. My name is Jeni.
And I'm Tressa. What's up, partner? What are you doing
Tressa,
here?
I was just thinking about the fact that we have discussed that I have a lot of black tank tops as per the intro shows. And then I thought about it, and I have a lot of hats too. So here and there, I'm going to start to wear a hat. But you'll never know until I show up in a hat.
You know what? I did not know until just now. And I fully appreciate it and support this choice.
Mm-hmm. And I could not get it on my head straight in the amount of time because you can see me pre-show. So I have to be real quick with it. And then it just came out at this jaunty angle, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, you look like you're going to do something jaunty. I don't know what's happening.
I need to do what I'm getting to the hat. I think it makes me dumber. Tressa, what is happening in your world? What is going on? Have you been watching any TikToks lately?
No, I've been listening to American History podcast because if you don't learn history, you are doomed to repeat it. And I feel that we are doomed to repeat it anyway. So that's my happy,
sweet pea.
joyful
That's human nature. It's okay. It'll be okay. Think about the UFOs. Think about the UFOs. Everything will be fine.
Save us.
Save us, UFOs. It's going to be a little bit of a ridiculous episode tonight. You know why?
Why?
First of all, because I was wearing a hat, and I can't promise that I'm not going to put it back on at some point in time. Secondly, we have a friend who's coming on the show tonight, and she is a delight. I'm such a big fan of hers. She is truly one of the best things to come out of this past summer's travels. Just getting to know her better. So Valerie Zell is our guest tonight, and she is so smart. First of all, let me just point that out right now. She's so smart. She is she's so fun. She's an investigator. She's a historian. She's also a writer. Just all around fantastic person. So please help me welcome Val.
Oh, I gotta bring her
Yeah,
on.
maybe. just bring her out.
Oh, boy.
Hello.
Hello, Val. Thank you for joining us. It's so good to have you.
Good to be here.
Yay.
What podcast do you listen to, Tressa? The history podcast.
The Dollop. I've re-listened to it, re-binged it multiple times. I love it very much.
I have one I listen to called History That Doesn't Suck. That's really good too.
Ooh, that one is good. I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. You just got back from an exciting weekend, yeah?
Did, yeah. I was on staff for Scarefest for the second year.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a wild adventure. It's the largest, I think it's the largest horror and paranormal convention east of the Mississippi or some big accolade like that. So, yeah, it's all 4 floors of a giant convention center, and there were 101 celebrities and all kinds of panels. And I think I walked about 25 miles.
Yeah, I bet.
It was nuts. Yeah, we started on Wednesday night getting ready. So
you don't hear east of the Mississippi that often anymore. I like that.
no,
Let's bring that back.
You really don't.
that's perfect for it.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, you really don't, and I like it. So next year we'll all go then.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Why didn't we go this year?
Well, Robert Englund was the big celebrity there this year, and David Arquette, and they almost had the whole cast of Nightmare on Elm Street. So
Oh,
they do panels and after hours ghost hunts, and they actually investigated inside the Warren Museum this time. And
Oh.
Annabelle was there. I got to manage that
Okay.
for like 2 hours. That was fun
oh,
because
oh
people.
my!
It was like a 2 hour wait. So my job was to tell people to go to the back of the line. It was fun.
Were there any weird occurrences in the line? I mean, don't mention names or anything, but I feel like that line would get like,
Are you asking if there were fights?
yeah,
No,
dramatic. Were there fights?
but there were a few people, they just act like, what do you mean I have to wait in line? Like that kind of an attitude. And it's just, I'm like, I paid for my ticket. I'm like, so did the 600 people in front of you.
Right. Doomed to repeat it.
All right.
So what you were okay? Sorry.
Oh,
There were investigations in the museum like
yeah.
after hours.
Yeah,
How
Shane
did that
Pittman did
go?
Shane Pittman did the one Friday night. He said they got some really interesting stuff through Estes when they were in there. And then Saturday night, Dustin Perry did it with a small group,
Okay.
but I don't know what happened. I didn't get to talk to him. But yeah, they said there was a weird vibe in there for sure. It was like this, I don't know how to describe it, like this low frequency hum kind of a weird feeling. It was the same feeling I got in the Bagans Museum. Like you just slightly want to run away.
Oh,
yeah.
like too much creepy
Uncomfortable.
stuff in one place.
Yeah, it's an odd feeling. So
I totally get that, and I love it and hate it.
I don't.
like
I
everybody
wanna
was
be
up in front of
outside.
Annabelle, so you had to like angle to get your picture and selfie and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like seeing the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just gonna say. Like you walk in and it's this now. Okay, but how was the feeling of actually seeing that doll? Because if we're comparing it to the Mona Lisa, I mean, you kind of walk into that room and it's like small and it's behind a lot of plexiglass and you don't really get a good look at it. So it's kind of like,
Yeah, I was hoping to like boop her on the nose, but they wouldn't let me. But it was just like the Mona Lisa. It's so full of people in front. It kind of takes away from the just seeing whether you believe in her or not as a pop culture icon, there in front of you. So they had the doll there and they had the movie prop too, like right next to each other. So,
okay.
yeah, I think the Raggedy Ann is much creepier than the doll because she's such a little sweet thing, So
We were just having this discussion about how creepy those dolls were. I had them. I had the books due to my odd upbringing, and then the movie too. Tressa was talking about the animated movie and how creepy that was.
Disgusting. Like there's a full psychedelic part where it's just like, I'm never doing acid. That was a lie. I totally did acid. But it was so gross.
Monsters Lounge does not condone or support the use of illicit drugs.
No, but it's fine. It's a psychedelic. It's fine. Hey, look at this guy. Why don't you get out of here with that noise?
Come on now. Oh, shush.
Okay.
Shush.
Psychedelics.
All right, so which one though? But which one did you find creepy? Because the blinky eye doll is very creepy to me.
Oh yeah, the ones that like blink eyes when you move them.
Yes.
Yeah, my mom actually gave me one. I have it on my fireplace mantle that she had when she was a kid. So it's like 80 years old and it's got the porcelain head and it's all cracked.
Yeah,
and
my mom's got a bunch of them.
She had my grandma's braid on it like the longest time as like a wig. She kept the braid. Yeah. I'll show it to you guys sometime.
So it was like what is the Victorian hair braiding? The Victorian like
the wreath, the death wreath. Yeah. They take their hair and make it into a wreath. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, that is wild. Oh, I don't enjoy that at all. Okay.
I appreciate it. I don't want it.
Victorians were a weird bunch.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
wait, you don't want it?
What? What'd you say?
You don't want my hair?
No, I absolutely do want your hair. I just don't want some rando's hair. I've
been working on some projects.
Good. I want those projects. Mm-hmm. Listen, Victorians, nutso. Like, what are we doing here? Everything, like, in the bathing situation, you guys, let's not go back that far. If
And
we
they
have
just
time
literally
travel,
burned everything down because they put like live
Oh,
candles in their
everything.
trees and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Fantastic. The one thing that I can say that I was at least amused with was they would get like tiny geckos or like tiny little reptiles and have like tiny leashes on them and wear them sort of as jewelry, and they would just kind of attach their little pet to themselves and be
I
like,
really like
"Oh, is that
that.
a brooch? Is that a fancy?" No, it's my chameleon. It's
Your
jewelry.
brooch bit me, ma'am.
Yeah. And they're like, "Well, I shouldn't have been touching it then, I guess."
I feel like that's a trend we could bring back, though. That's kind of cool in a weird
Absolutely.
way.
I feel like we did in the '90s for a minute. I don't know if
Did we?
that's true.
Yeah,
We're
Maybe
talking about
that's
wore reptiles to a bar at some point in time, but it's another life.
I mean, their hats, full on taxidermy giant hats. And the hat pins, those were full weapons.
Oh, those were such weapons, and you just popped them on.
Uh-huh.
Come on,
I'm
come on.
rethinking this. I want a big hat with taxidermy and hat pins.
I'm not quite sure where the taxidermy comes in. Are you talking about the feathers?
No, they would have full taxidermied animals on their hats.
I
Giant
knew about
ones.
the stoles. You know, like
Yeah,
but,
that's very different.
those are like
I'll send you a
taxidermy.
podcast episode.
Perfect. Let me guess. Is it the dollop?
That's correct. How did you know?
It's
All
funny.
right.
You know, speaking of
Alright.
taxidermy, the best cosplay I saw just reminded me of it. A girl was dressed as the Tin Man, and she was wearing a cape, and it was the lion. You could see the head of the skin, and she was covered in blood. It was awesome.
Okay, she wins like every single cosplay ever.
It was
For
What's
sure.
he
awesome.
gonna do?
Yeah.
All right, so there
Useless
was
pal.
cosplay at this thing too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, they had cosplay contest and everything. So
Oh wow.
I mean, let's get into it. Like the Cowardly Lion. We don't want you on our adventure. You just keep being whiny and scared. You're my
we're
coat
skinning
now.
you and wearing you for
Yeah.
a coat.
Yeah. you're
Maybe
kind
I'm
of,
hungry. I don't know what a lion tastes like. Let's find out.
Oh, now you're talking about the plot of Blood and Honey.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you are.
Then I stand by it.
Yeah. One of the denizens of the 100-acre woods goes down. It's not pretty.
All right. So we've got a guest on tonight.
Oh, that's
Wow.
right. We do. So speaking of history,
Yes,
one thing that I know about you is that you love Gettysburg.
I do.
And Tressa and I had the privilege to go to the Gettysburg convention this past summer, and we did zero ghost looking. I would have been into it, but yeah, I don't think we didn't have a car. Anyway, so we did zero of the ghost looking, but you have done some in the Gettysburg area. You are also very, very well versed on the history of it.
Yeah, and I know enough to be dangerous.
That's what I like to hear.
So was the love of history and the love of Gettysburg what got you into the paranormal, or how did that start? Let's start with an origin story.
No, I didn't discover Gettysburg till a couple of years ago, but it's just kind of always been there. Like I don't even really have an origin point. I know that I tried some self-hypnosis when I was like 6 because I read it in a book or something, you know, like writing affirmations. And I bought a crystal on a class field trip in like the 7th grade, you know, so it's always been there under the surface. But I started like officially ghost hunting because in 2008, I watched Ghost Hunters like everybody else. So, and I joined, and then, you know, I was like, I found a team. So I was actually on a TAPS team. I lived in Florida, and I was like, oh my God, people do this. You know, it was cool. So I joined a TAPS family team down then, and we did a bunch of residential investigations. But nobody had a ghost. But everybody wanted to go in there. There's so many war stories between us we could tell. Sean Porter, who owns Ghost Stop, was on my team. We were like babies together. So way back when. And Rob Demarest was on our team, who was on Ghost Hunters International. So he was still on our website. So we'd show up at the door and you could see the clients like looking for him. We're like, no, not here.
Oh.
But it was interesting. It was a whole different kind of investigating because you're trying to debunk for people because they're scared in their houses or they don't know what's going on. So it was kind of a different thing. And then you'd go back and present the evidence and everything. But I'm kind of more into I had somebody call it paratourism.
Oh, that's pretty accurate.
Where you go to the commercial locations and things like that. So
yeah. See, now in Florida, I really enjoy the idea of getting to a house and looking for a ghost, and it's just two alligators in a trench coat.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like that would be a thing.
The one interesting story was there was a woman who could hear microwaves and like electricity. Mm-hmm. So that's what we discovered. She had that weird thing where she can hear EMF. So she was hearing the humming sound. Yeah. So that was kind of we're like, you can hear it. Like she could actually hear it, which was interesting. I'd never met anybody like that before. So.
Oh yeah. It's a very like common thing with neurodivergent people. They could hear electricity. Yeah.
Oh, I had no. Oh, wow. That adds a whole other layer to this, to like this sensory overload.
Yeah. It absolutely does.
That was my first exposure to people like that people could do that. So it was really interesting.
Oh, that is super interesting. Okay, so moving along to Gettysburg then.
Yeah.
So obviously intensely bloody battle. I probably only know a little bit about it because as an Illinois girl who is a little bit of a nerd, of course, Abraham Lincoln was my first love. And so the Gettysburg Address obviously was very important to me as a child. Why are you making that? Tress is making a face.
I'm afraid of where you're going with this, but keep going.
No, I just adored him. He was the coolest.
Did you hear about when they toured his corpse after Cal, shut up.
Well, next time we go back, there's a museum there where the saddle that he rode his horse to give the Gettysburg Address is in a museum there, like the house where he stayed. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
So
I did all that tourism when I was a kid. All the big Abraham Lincoln sites. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So tell us about some of the bigger like legends of Gettysburg.
The legends. Okay, well, the two haunted locations that I've been in were the Jeni Wade House and the orphanage. Right. So the orphanage was built for orphans of the soldiers. They found a soldier dead on the battlefield who had a picture of his 3 kids in his pocket. And that's kind of how it started. They found those 3 kids and started the orphanage. And it's right on the streets, right almost across from the Jeni Wade House by Cemetery Hill. And it was just supposed to be a place for these, the war orphans. But it was run by a horrible woman named Rosa, who would beat the kids and throw them down the stairs and like lock them in the basement. It was a really bad situation. So while they were downstairs, the back part of the building was a field hospital. So, I mean, the energy in there is it's crazy. So, and it's kind of negative down in the basement where Rosa would abuse the kids. But my friend Christina, who's with Ghostly Images of Gettysburg, plays her, like dresses up like her in the Victorian costume and everything, and kind of does some tours that way. But she was a pretty awful human who ran the orphanage.
Oh.
No.
Does she ever get messed with on any of the tours? Because I mean, she's dressed up like the torturer of presumably some of the spirits, right?
I would imagine she might. She's never shared any stories about it, but I can't imagine that they would leave her alone. I mean, unless the kid ghosts go running, hiding because they think it's actually Rosa, coming down the stairs. So.
Oh, that is horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then across the street is the Jeni Wade House, and she's the only civilian who was killed in the battle. It wasn't her house. It was her sister's house. She went there to be safe. ironically, and was baking bread in the kitchen. And the Farnsworth Inn is down the road, and there's a sniper's nest up in the attic of the Farnsworth Inn. And she got hit by a bullet from the sniper through 2 doors, and it shot her in the back of the shoulder, and it killed her. So
Two doors.
Yeah, through
The
2
thing
doors.
that blows my mind about that is like, how great were their guns then? Not great is my assumption.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they weren't.
being
super
there
good.
is so interesting because you see the distance between the Farnsworth Inn and Jeni Wade, and like
Yeah.
how good the sharpshooter had to be. And you wonder if he wasn't aiming for her. I don't think, because she's inside the house. It was just a
Through
Right.
2 doors.
yeah, a very unfortunate swing and a miss. But it they have tours of her, and they tell her story, and you can investigate in there. But it's the creakiest house I've ever been in. I mean, it's from the 1800s, so you can only send 2 people in at a time, really, like to investigate it, or you're going to get contamination from people being on the stairs, and it just creaks like that.
So much creaking going on.
Yes, so much creaking, yes. But they have artifacts from her, and she was in love with a soldier. So their letters back and forth are in there and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool, little museum too.
I don't know that I want my texts released in some museum with a
not
guy
your
I'm
texts.
into.
No.
I'm saying hypothetically, when I die, please don't post my texts in some museum to guys
All right,
that I
hang
was
on.
seeing.
I gotta erase something from my list of things to do when Tressa dies.
Thank you. It's
You're
the
welcome. I'm
least.
glad we had this discussion. Otherwise, they'd be all over the place. Oh, I got to cancel that engraving. I'm kind of blown away that was the only civilian who died.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? Let's talk about that right after this. Have you been feeling called to explore your intuitive gifts and deepen your spiritual practice? Then Pathways to Spirit was created for you. Sarah Lemos has been teaching Pathways to Spirit for over 16 years. And in that time, she's watched hundreds of students grow into their gifts with confidence and clarity. This isn't just about learning tools. It's about understanding how your energy works and how to use it with intention. Over 6 months, you'll learn about your own intuitive abilities and how they show up, along with many esoteric tools and practices to help explore your potential. But this course is about more than just learning. It's about embracing your sensitivity and living your best life. Register now at mediumsarahlemos.com while there's still space. It's time to uncover your gifts and abilities. Are you ready to join this extraordinary journey?
I am ready to join that extraordinary journey.
I love Sarah. She's so nice.
She's the
Why is
best.
she the nicest?
She's so great.
That's so funny. Oh my goodness. We just need to have commercials by the people that we really enjoy,
Yeah.
which would be everybody. Let's just have
Check out this person. They're cool.
we just compliment them for the next 5 minutes after the ad.
They're not selling anything, but go check them out. They're fun.
It's just them sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing big stuff.
Yeah. So
ahead.
the whole civilian dying, the
Yeah.
one, is crazy to me because we drove by the battlefield and it's like
Yeah.
right next to the town. And granted, I mean, but it's so close. I am shocked that there
And
was
it was
only
in
one
town.
civilian.
Too. It was all through town too.
Yeah, I would well imagine. Like it would
Yeah.
be all over the place.
Which is even crazier. How did only one civilian die?
How
Where-
long did that
They
battle
ran?
last?
They ran or they hid in their basements for 3 days
Oh.
until the
I would
shooting
think.
left. Yeah.
Well, then what was she doing up in her kitchen
Making
baking
bread?
She was giving comfort to the soldiers, is what she's known for. Like, so apparently some of the ladies in town like would bring food and provisions and,
I mean,
water
I guess that's,
really needed, like,
kind.
That's
There's
what you
out.
get for catering to a man. That's all I'm saying.
There is in one of the bullet holes is an engagement ring hole. So it says if you put your ring finger in the bullet hole, you will get engaged soon after. I'm like, I don't feel like that's a good way to.
No.
No.
Listen, if you put your finger in here, the rest of your life is death. Listen, it's over.
Oh, that's
So
a
go ahead.
terrible.
I don't want any part of it.
They'll
That
share
sounds
stories every
terrible.
once in a while, like a girl put her ring finger in the bullet hole and they got engaged. I'm like, good luck.
Yeah, that seems like a terrible
I know.
Gauge,
proceeding.
predictor, like no.
No, thank you.
What can I do to represent the rest of my life with this young man? Bullets.
Now, how many people roughly died at Battle of Gettysburg?
I think it was like 40 to 50,000. Don't quote me on that. 100,000 casualties. It was one of the largest battles. It was 3
Yeah.
days. So, I mean, just
Yeah.
when you drove over that battlefield, just picture it just stacked 3 high with
Yeah.
bodies from both sides. You know, every farm was commandeered to use as a hospital. The standard fix was amputation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just have wheelbarrows full of limbs. They were just hauling out of these field hospitals, and it was
Jeni
horrible.
has one of those. It's weird.
I
It
saw
is.
that. I thought it was a little weird, but you know, it's her. So,
Well, you know, I do
She's
what I
got
do. Mind your
hobbies.
own business.
so that entire town has ghosts in it, and the whole place.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, driving through the battlefield area, which is kind of where the convention was, is astounding. Like it's a very sobering area, right?
Yeah, it's
So and people do go out and investigate like actually on the field, right?
well, they're not allowed to at night because they have it's a $10,000 fine, and they've got people who live in town who like monitor.
Oh, I would
Yeah,
Let you
I get
Yeah.
that.
So
You
you
wouldn't want a
can't.
bunch of people wandering around.
Right, yeah, but
But
some
you
of the
can do it
best
during the day.
during the day, sure, absolutely. I mean, you can wander the whole battlefield from sun up to sundown. So,
But you were about to say something before I cut you off.
oh, I don't know what it was. I forget.
Astounding footage.
Oh, if you go on YouTube, I mean, and you look up Gettysburg ghosts, it's all from nighttime around the cannons in the battlefields and stuff like that at night. So back when people were allowed on is when they caught a lot of that stuff.
I feel like the most impressive ghost photos I've seen have been like Civil War soldiers every time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Full
Yeah, well,
Seem to
apparitions.
be a lot of them wandering around.
Yeah, think
Yeah.
about how much trauma broke off and it got left behind.
Yeah.
You know,
And
they were
were
kids.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm smart.
I'm good. Well, that's because you've been listening to the dollop.
Okay, we have one too.
But it's the whole battle was an accident because the Confederates were coming in. They were moving up into Union territory, like they'd won some battles, so they're like feeling full of gusto. So they're marching north, and they were going into town to get some supplies, and they ran into some Union soldiers by accident and started skirmishing, and it blew up into a battle.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, they were looking for shoes and air conditioners, like cold air machines.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
What a terrible thing to stumble into.
Yeah.
No kidding. They were like,
So
"Oh
what
God, there's soldiers here! Oh no!"
So then was it like, sort of like a football brawl on a field where there's like a couple of people fighting? You've seen this, and then like crowds just sort of stream
Yes.
in.
The
So
crowds
they
would
just
watch.
started they
Mhm.
just started like calling in support.
Yeah, so you can see they have the cavalry or the scouts who are riding back and forth on the horses with the flags. So that's how they would signal each other. But another thing you can learn when you're there is when people say you have the advantage of the high ground, what that actually means. Because you can see like where the Union was and where the Confederacy had to go to like fight them. And you're like, they didn't have a chance at all because they're literally like running up the side of Little Round Top, and it's just Union soldiers with bayonets at the top waiting on them. You know, but when you go into actual battle in the big fields, there were like ceremonies and the drums would play, and
Yeah.
it was kind of a ceremony to it. It wasn't just like there were a few skirmishes here and there, but those big battles had some sort of pomp and circumstance to them. like with the drummer boys and the
That's
buglers and
so
stuff.
weird.
Yeah.
I
It
never
is very
understood
strange that we were still doing that.
Or
Yeah.
that we ever did it. Like, it's war. Why are we putting on a Broadway production at the same time? What's going on?
Well, that
Yeah.
was one of our
Military.
advantages, like in the that was one of our advantages during the Revolutionary War, was because the British still fought like that.
Stupid.
Yeah. So what are some of the more, I guess, maybe more profound or like more memorable experiences that you've had there while investigating?
I've had some good ones. We stayed at the Cashtown Inn the first time we were there, which was the Confederate headquarters at one point, and there was activity. We couldn't sleep. Like there was so much activity. We would hear footsteps out on the landing outside the room, and they had these boxes of coins on the desks, and they encouraged you to draw circles around the coins on the desk, to see if the coins would move at night. And we never saw the coins move, but we heard them jiggling like in the thing all night. And then this was the first time we were ever in Gettysburg. And then that night at the VIP party, this whole nother story, I got injured in a small tornado, which I think I told you about. So I was bleeding everywhere. And that night I was apparently a trigger object because it was a field hospital, and the footsteps came off the landing and into the room, and something sat down next to me. Like it was checking on my injury. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh. How did it feel? Did it feel like an energy that was like there to, like, could you feel that in the
Yeah, you could tell it was like, because I was like, the footsteps are in the landing again. And it's like, no, they're here. Those are here, like right here. And then I felt the depression, and it just was kind of like, I felt the need to like, I'm okay. So it just kind of felt like a caring, like a nurse checking on me. So.
Oh, she wanted to put a dirty wrap over it and put germs in your wound.
All right, Debbie Downer. We didn't have to.
That was the coolest thing that's ever happened to me there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it really, really does.
It was pretty profound.
Yeah. How does that compare with, like, have you had other experiences in other places that were as intense as that?
Yeah, well, I used to work at Waverly Hills Sanatorium. So, and I used to run the overnight ghost hunts there. So there were lots of experiences that happened there. The first time I was ever there, I heard like shuffling footsteps come down the hallway, and I'd never heard that before, but I was, reaching out my hand, like, do you want to hold my hand? But I was scared, but I was excited to hear those footsteps. And at Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum during the tour, 6 people saw a shadow figure pop out from behind the tour guide and wave at us and pop back in the room. That was awesome too. So we've had some pretty cool experiences over the years.
Okay, first of all, I like how how your reaction to a shuffling footsteps approaching is completely opposite of what mine would have been. I wanted to be holding out my hand. That's what I would have been doing.
It was tentative, but I was like, oh, this is what I came here for. It's Waverly's the real deal. So it was pretty neat.
That's incredibly cool. I'm always very interested in what people bring with them, like what sort of equipment or how they like to approach like being on site and investigating. What is your preference?
Yeah, I've kind of been through all of it because, there's these newfound gadgets all the time. That there's the new apps, and there's the new REM pods and the motion sensors and the dead bells, and all this stuff keeps coming out on the market, which you want to try. A dead bell it's actually really cool. It's an old-fashioned, like a hotel front bell, but it's an EMF, so it rings on EMF. Oh. So we had it at Indiana State Sanatorium, and I was at the nurses station, and I was saying like, okay, who's next? If it's your turn for your medicine, ring the bell. Ding. It was really neat. And then so we were reenacting it. So another investigator would come up and I'm like, your medicine, you got to ring it twice for your medicine. And it would ding, ding. So we had a pretty cool interaction. But
That's
it's
really
just
cool.
like a old fashioned
Yeah.
bell, but it's EMF. So
I'm so sorry because I completely and totally interrupted you and you were on a flow of like what all you tried and
you're fine. But at the end of the day, I think it's just a digital recorder and your senses, are kind of, I've never captured anything on video ever. Never,
yeah.
Maybe not really on photography or anything like that. Maybe our technology just isn't in the right spectrum yet to capture that stuff. But
Yeah.
things moving across laser grids or just, EVPs are just, some of the coolest evidence. I think it's so neat when you're listening and then you hear one. You're like, oh my God, what did that say? So
And it's intelligent and actually responding to questions. That's the best.
yeah.
Yeah, the best is when somebody can point out to me what is being said because I can't understand ever.
Yeah, it's hard because your brain fills in those blanks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I might hear something and you hear something completely different, but you kind of get a consensus. I think when you've got an EVP that's not super clear, you get a lot of opinions on it without prompting and see what people hear.
I want to go with you. You've got to take me investigating.
I will absolutely take you investigating. That'd be fun.
Yes, this would be delightful because I keep saying it that I want to go because I've never actually been on one, like a real one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just like the big crowded ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are hard. Those are more just like exploring and looking around and taking fun pictures.
Yeah,
that's fun too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just have to know what you're in for when you go into a crowd of people like that and can't expect miracles when, everything's basically contaminated. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I always feel like I'm never going to have an experience in any of those situations, though, which might actually prevent me from. I don't know. What is your thoughts on that? Like, do you think that because someone like me walks in, like, I don't really think I'm going to have an experience? Do you think that sort of removes me from the ability to have an experience?
Gosh, we honestly don't know the answer to that, but that tended to be the case at Waverly. The guys, they'd be all blustery, like, I'm not scared, coming in. And then they leave at the end of the night and they're like, it's not haunted. Nothing happened. I'm like, no, duh, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like, but I guess it depends on the spirits and depends on their place. There might be some energies that are like, oh yeah, come here. Let me show you. Non-believer, come over here, but you can never really predict. And what we've discovered too, a lot of times it's when you stop trying so hard.
Yeah.
When you're just sitting around kind of just joking or, drinking your 15th monster of the night, energy to, go back in the building, that something just shocks you and surprises you when you're not ready for it. So.
I feel like we hear that a lot. Like once you're just like, you calm down and you're like, all right, well, let's not put too much on everything that's going around here. That's
yeah.
like,
Have you heard of the Philip experiment?
No.
I think so.
So the Philip experiment was this thing that a group of researchers did back in the 90s where they got a group of people together and they created a ghost. Like they were going to try to conjure this ghost, and his name was Philip, and they gave him a backstory and everything, and nothing was happening. And then they were finally starting to give up, and they started hearing table rapping. Like this ghost Philip appeared and started communicating with them, and they brought in TV camera crews and everything. It's a really cool thing that they did back, I think it was in the 80s or 90s. So they have the old video of it, and they even turned the table like completely upside down, and he would still rap answers on the table to prove it wasn't people and stuff. It was really interesting, but they got nothing till they gave up. So
is that almost like a tulpa sort of situation?
That's exactly what I was going to ask.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it was like a controlled scientific experiment to conjure up this ghost.
Yeah. For the record, it's not that I don't think that the ghosts are real or that they're there. I just feel like they're just not going to show themselves to me. You know, it's like when you enter a contest and you're like, I'm not going to win this, but I might as well put my name down. You know? Does that make sense?
Let me introduce you to a few. I got some
That's
friends.
what I'm saying.
On the other side. I'll take you to Cash Town. We'll have I think experience might be guaranteed at that place.
Okay. I'm in. Let's go. Let's do it. Has that experiment ever, has anybody recently or anybody that we know tried to redo that?
I talked about it with a friend of mine of trying to redo it or recreate some sort of thing, but it required so much time commitment. Like they had to meet every week for hours and focus their energy on this and everything. And I think now we're all too internet. We have no attention span or time commitment to do something like that again. So
I didn't realize it was over the span of a long time. I thought it was like, let's do this thing one night and see what happens. Because that does sound very time intensive.
Yeah, it really, really does. But it also sounds.
They didn't have doom scrolling back then, so
Exactly.
they had time for creative things.
All right. Well, I have some questions about a different project that you're working on, but
Let's get to those right
there we
after
go.
this. Yeah.
For those of you naysayers, I want you to know how much I appreciate how many of you grabbed a hold of my small package after last week's show. It is out and available. You can get both of my books, The Other Side, A Guide to the Paranormal and Ghost Hunting, and my brand new book, Theater of the Mind, Tales from the Darkness. Both books are out. One, of course, kind of a how-to ghost hunt book, and the other story book of strange supernatural occurrences all around the world. You can get your hand on my small package by just ordering it right off of my website. You can go right to paranormal60.com, scroll down on the front page there, or go to the shop and scroll down and you'll see our book bundle. And I was so humbled by the fact of how many men put their hands on my small package at the end of last week's show and bought it. It was great. It made me feel loved and wanted. I'm not going to lie.
It's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is amazing, and we've talked about it, and I've taken anyway. You have a project that you're working on. Please tell us about it.
So I decided I'm a writer, like you said at the beginning, and I write for other people. I've been writing for other people my whole career. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something for myself finally. So I got fascinated by why people believe what they believe, and specifically like why they will go gung-ho in one area, but absolutely shut the door on something else. I just don't like, how do you justify that? Where does it come from? How can you be gung-ho, go surreal, Bigfoot? Absolutely not. Like just interviewing people and finding out about that, do your religious beliefs kind of shape the way that you believe in things? Is it TV shows that you saw as a kid? Is it personal experiences you've had, and then, so I just put together this survey to kind of send out to people to get an idea of what they believe in and what they don't. So I've gathered it up. I've got like 48 responses so far, which I think is pretty good, but I get into the quantitative brain. I'm like, no, bigger sample. So I'm still, luckily I've got some book projects going on for some other people in the meantime, but I'm trying to gather up this research and then find the people who are super interesting, have some really strange beliefs, and probably interview them a little more in depth. Like a friend of mine is a pastor whose wife is a witch. So I want to talk to him.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. So, it's kind of interesting. What I found so far is more people believe in aliens than God, which which probably says something about my circle of friends.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah.
But even like a few of my hardcore, like evangelical, unapologetic Christian friends, I'm like, please fill this out for me. I want all perspectives. This isn't just a paranormal supernatural thing. And all of them, even two of them were like, no, demons, nothing. Oh, aliens, maybe. Universe is too big. We don't know the answer. I was like, wow. So that was kind of to see where those beliefs come from. And, people are being open and candid, and I think it's going to be a series. We can look into conspiracy theories and dive into cryptids, or, like whatever the case may be. People believe in lots of stuff and don't believe. So
Do you think that this survey, I haven't taken it yet, I'm sorry, I will. But do you think this
please, Tressa,
survey has made people question their own belief system? Like, yeah, why do I believe this and not that?
Oh, I
That's
hope
my
so.
God. Yeah, it did for me.
See,
Yeah,
like, that's
I certainly
weird.
hope so.
Oh,
It's a few, like, choose this, choose this, choose this, but then there's a lot of open-ended discussion.
Yeah.
Like, tell me why,
yeah.
tell me what influenced this, and a lot of people have been filling it out and being really honest. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I imagine that if someone's like, why do you believe this? And you like really think about it and get into it, you're like, oh, it was because I saw a cartoon when I was 4 and it ruined my life. Like,
Yeah.
that's fascinating to me. I can't
Yeah, or,
wait.
I saw the
Oh,
Patterson
so
Gimlin
interesting.
film, and that was it. I'm a big believer in Bigfoot forever now. Or I saw something weird in the woods and I didn't know what it was. So, that shaped my beliefs, something like that. So,
Yeah, like it's a really I did take the survey. And I thought it took me a long time to do, but I feel better about myself now. But it did. It's very, very intensive, and you cover a broad range of. I mean, there's the fae in there. There's cryptids. There's ghosts. There's obviously the religious stuff. All kinds of things, and yeah, getting into because the questions are phrased in such a way that in order to explain why you say that, or to explain in detail a little bit more, you end up writing entire paragraphs. I'm pretty sure I submitted an essay for like half of my questions. But you do start to think. It's kind of amazing.
and what I think I'm discovering is that a lot of the disbelief comes down to fear.
Oh.
People who
I
are
would
gung
imagine.
ho, like, oh, absolutely not, aliens are not. It's fear of what could
Yeah.
be, because they think the possibility might be there, but they're afraid of what might happen, or they're afraid of death, and so they don't want to believe in demon. Like, there could be darkness or demons, things like that. So it's been really, it's itching my nerd brain.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
So
It's fantastic. Yeah, because you do touch on near-death experiences. And I think that I flat out was like, I don't think about them because I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't understand you people.
I
You
know,
don't think
you love
about the
them.
things that scare you all the time, every second of the day. I don't understand that. I don't
well,
get
usually
that.
when I think about something that scares me, then I go and I deal with it, or like I go expose
you
myself
can't
to
deal
it,
with
but
everything.
you can't with,
Right.
death, really. So,
That's what keeps you in anxiety, something you cannot solve. So let's think about that nonstop. All right.
that's this community in a nutshell.
Right? I'm so tired of thinking about scary things.
Sorry, Tressa.
It's okay.
okay. Okay, do we really want to read Tressa's answers to these things?
They're gonna be the funnest and most
gonna-
terrifying.
coming to kill you.
Well, I can't wait to read your answers. I'll probably interview you more in depth.
Probably. Probably. I'd like to sometimes.
You're gonna be like, buttons. Why do buttons scare you? What is your problem?
Buttons aren't haunted.
You haven't seen
Wait,
my buttons.
Like buttons, like pin buttons, or like elevator buttons.
Listen, they're all buttons. You don't know what they're there for.
All. So just all of the above.
I don't know. Buttons was the first thing that came to my head. Don't call me on it, okay?
Okay, that's fair. Now, Val, did you take the survey?
I thought about it as I was writing the questions. That's kind of how I formulated the questions, were based on my answers about things.
Okay.
So,
I like that.
Yeah, I had a really religious upbringing, so and my aunt's a nun, and my mom used to be a nun, so like Catholic, everywhere. So I was like, man, if I were a priest, I would be an exorcist so fast. That'd be great. That would
I
be my
mean,
job of
I mean, there's
choice.
schools, you know.
Yeah,
You can go.
I
You can go
don't,
learn
I
a
don't
little
know if it would
something,
be
something.
great. It would be interesting for sure. Terrifying, absolutely.
but yeah, I definitely was like, do I, where did that thought come from? And I kind of used it to formulate the answers. And I'm excited to compile them all and look for trends and make charts
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah,
books
yeah,
and
yeah,
maybe do some presentations at some conventions coming up once I get it done. So
Oh,
yeah,
yes. I
yeah,
want to see that real bad because I don't
yeah.
you get
read.
people talking.
It's accurate. So
You're going to
maybe
be
we
up
could make some
there with me
charts.
What,
Maybe.
what'd you say?
you're going to be up there with me telling your story.
Yes. Let me tell you about buttons.
Tressa, it's part two.
And now for an hour and a half on buttons.
What are they made
When the
out of?
Civil War soldiers appear, do you see them? Is there enough detail to see the buttons?
They're shiny. There's details.
This is why we're friends.
Why is it so bright? They're like little hands that keep your clothes together.
What? Did you just call them little hands?
What about hat pins? It could be buttons and hat pins.
Oh my god, it's a nightmare.
This is just evolving.
I know what you're getting for Christmas now.
Oh my god, can we both just get our boxes of buttons?
Yes.
That's
If there
just
is a
cruel.
God in heaven, everyone who is listening to this show will start sending Tressa buttons.
I like elevator buttons the most, though. I mean, I hate them.
That's why you make me hit every button.
Yeah, and the germs, that
This
too.
is all just
I heard the
all
elevator
between the
ding at
buttons.
Waverly one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That is
It
very
sounded
cool.
it sounded tinny, like it was coming through it can sound like through a portal or like through a dimension.
Yeah.
It was there. It was right next to us, but it wasn't right next to us. It was really neat. About 7 or 8 people heard that. So
That's so cool.
Yeah, it seriously is. Did you, while you were formulating these questions, did you come up with something, or did anything strike like I really don't know why I don't believe that, and did you then pursue it a little bit, like look into it more?
not yet, but there are definitely still some things floating around in my head. But the question that came up more is, how do you judge a person who says that they've had an experience, right? And they believe in a crazy gnome, because they saw one, right? You hear
Right.
stories of people who see gnomes, and you're like, but I wasn't there. So I think we cannot shut down their belief system and what they saw because we weren't in their head and we didn't experience it. So I think it just helped
Sure.
me be a little bit less quick to judge people because I would say too, no, you didn't. And I would
Yeah.
immediately start to go debunk it. But the more and more people tell these stories, I'm like, well, how do I know? And who
Yeah.
am I
Right.
to tell you that you didn't see a gnome? I wasn't there,
Yeah.
and maybe someday I'll see a gnome and none of you will believe me either, But so it's just kind of letting people just be,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we're not there to know if people were
Right.
abducted by aliens. We weren't,
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So
always
we didn't see
fascinated.
the Bigfoot, we didn't see the frog man or the Wendigo or whatever it was. So
Yeah. Yeah, especially like when people come up and tell you these things or like these stories and conferences and whatnot, like you can tell that they experienced something,
mhm.
Yes.
and the part of your brain that says like, no, these particular things aren't real, while these other things are very real, goes to dismiss that, but they've clearly experienced something.
Yeah. and just and you weren't there. So, it's probably just let me be a little more open-minded and accepting of stories. Now, some people may have just really mistaken something very innocent for
Sure.
something they don't understand, or it was
Sure.
low light, or it was quick, or, but that to them, that experience was a very real thing. So, you shouldn't dismiss people so fast, maybe necessarily. So
I like that a
Agree.
lot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Yes, Tressa. You really...
Well, I was about to say we are up at the end of the hour.
oh my
So,
gosh, really? Wow.
I know.
I know it kind of went very quickly.
Very quickly.
But the survey is still open, and
Yes.
we will have the link to the survey, I believe, in the show notes.
Yes, we will.
And
Okay.
and how else can anybody find it?
They can message me. I also have it pinned on the top of my Facebook profile right now. So
All right, we'll
Wonderful,
have
which
both
we
of
will
those
also-
in our show
Facebook.
notes.
You have my permission.
Yes, and I'm going to see you soon in person, and I'm super excited
Yes.
about that.
Cryptid Con.
Yay! And yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yes,
and-
thank
and
you
Thank you
so
for
much.
having me. This
talking
was
to
fun.
us.
I
It
hope
was.
it was enjoyable for you and not just for me. So, guys, I had a great time.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Everybody else, hey, go check out our website, monstersadage.com. You can get merch and see our links and other things. And we would really appreciate it. Hey, you could even email us if you want. Anyway, thanks for visiting the Monsters Lab.